Hey guys, I wanted to go over something real quick. I recently saw a video out of Austin where some folks were extracted from their vehicle after they refused to exit the vehicle during a traffic stop. A while back, there was a 17-year-old kid that I believe it was in Wisconsin, if I'm not mistaken, that refused to exit his vehicle. The officer dragged him out, and they ended up in a scuffle, and the officer ended up shooting that young boy and killing him. I think that there's a lot of misconceptions about traffic stops. We've all seen Batusi's traffic stop videos, and while those are entertaining, I think that they're also misleading. So I wanted to cover this with you real quick. Okay, so for those of you that don't know, a traffic stop is an arrest. Okay, it's a de facto arrest. You are in custody during a traffic stop. And that's why you have to identify yourself during a traffic. Well, that's one of the reasons. There's other things, but in Texas, it's one of the reasons you have to give up your driver's license and identify yourself while you're operating a motor vehicle and you're stopped. The Texas laws, now this varies from state to state, so be sure to research your own state's laws, okay? In Texas, you're required to display your driver's license. Now this is what you've seen the Batusi do when he puts his driver's license up on the window. And that meets the legal requirements for Texas. It may not meet them if you are in a different state. Please don't take what I'm saying here as a blanket statement, all right? Look at your state laws. It's very important that you do that. However, there are some things that are universal, the de facto arrest being one of them, all right? So once you are stopped, okay, you're going to have to give up your driver's license if you are the vehicle operator, all right? If an officer instructs you to exit the vehicle, you must do it. All right. Generally, they won't do that because it's an officer safety issue. They like to keep you compartmentalized. However, for whatever reason that officer comes up with, if he wants you to exit the vehicle, you have to exit the vehicle. Remember, you are under arrest. Okay, you are in custody. So, if you fail to exit the vehicle, they have authority to extract you from the vehicle. All right? This is where a lot of confusion comes in. There's a lot of lawyers that tell you roll your windows up, because they don't want you, so the police can't smell marijuana outside your car. Guys, I got news for you. Okay? Windows up, windows down. If you're smoking in that car, the odor is outside the vehicle as much as inside. All right? Try it sometime. Get somebody that doesn't smoke, all right? Put them outside a car where somebody's been smoking, all right? Trust me, you can smell it. But regardless, for whatever reason, the officer asks you to step out or instructs you to step out, you must comply, all right? It's that simple. Now, when it comes to passengers, this is where we get into a different area. A lot of times you'll see passengers refusing to ID. In Texas, the passenger is not under arrest. The passenger is not in custody. The passenger is, there's even question as to whether the passenger is actually detained along with the driver. I have seen people get out of the vehicle and walk away. I do not recommend you do that. There is an old court ruling, and it eludes me right now, but basically, if the police are driving down the road and they pull up to a corner where a guy is standing and that guy breaks and runs, that is probable cause for a detainment. All right, so if you get out of the car and are walking away, that would give them probable cause to detain you at that point. It's going to be an investigative detention. It's going to be short, but that's not the point, okay? You should not give them cause to detain you if you can help it. If you are the passenger in the vehicle, they ask for identification, decline. That's what I do. And they may extract you from the vehicle, and they have that right. They can ask you or instruct you to exit the vehicle, even if you're the passenger, okay? And it is a lawful order, okay? Because once they've extracted the driver, I just about universally guarantee you they're going to shake down the car. They're going to search the vehicle. And that's going to require that they extract the passengers from the vehicle as well. All right. ID, no. Extraction, yes. All right. The ultimate goal here is to not see you guys getting hurt. There are a lot of auditors out there that do some things that are pushing the boundaries. We do that. It just looks like we just do it, okay? But trust me, most auditors, certainly anybody that knows anything about anything, put a lot of thought and into their actions before they do it, and they're very careful about what they do and say. All right, and that takes practice. It takes learning. It's not something you just automatically do. And ultimately, amongst the auditors, our goal ultimately is to not get hurt. Getting arrested may be one thing, but to not get hurt. So if you're told to get out of the vehicle and you do not comply, they may, okay, and I'm going to tell you the truth. A smart officer is going to see that as as what it is, a misinformed citizen. All right. And a smart officer, a good officer, is just going to let it go. They're not going to want to push it and risk harming someone or having themselves harmed or whatever. It's not worth it. However, you will have other officers that may not see it that way. You'll have other officers that feel challenged, and their ego just needs that challenge, just loves that challenge, because now they get to show you who's boss. Okay. Ultimately, I do not want you guys getting hurt. It's not worth it. So sometimes you remember, I say this all the time, pick your battles. You may be 100% right, okay? But the damages to your vehicle and the criminal charges and the expense of fighting those criminal charges, it's just not worth it sometimes, all right? The place to fight these people is in court. Let me say that again because it's very important. You do not fight the police on the street. You fight them in court. On the street, you do not have a chance. In court, you got an 80% chance of getting a fair trial, maybe. I don't know. But there's always the appeals and yada, yada, yada. Yes, it's expensive. Yes, it's time consuming. Yes, it's BS. But you have a chance there. Okay? In court, arguing legal precedents and law isn't going to get you beat up or shot. So it's very important, guys. Put your safety first. Use a little common sense. Don't argue with the police. There is no argument. Quote your law, whatever you're doing, and shut up. Give them the rope to hang themselves, whatever they do. And if you're told to get out of your vehicle, if you're asked for your driver's license and you are the vehicle operator, provide it. If you're the passenger, they ask you out, well, get out. If they ask for ID, review your state identification laws and you determine what you need to do at that point. I can tell you in Texas, you're not required to identify yourself if you're the passenger in a vehicle. And if anybody that ever gets arrested for that, please shoot me an email or give me a call, because I'll love to light that department up. That is it, guys. I know some of you don't like it when I sit here and yap in front of the camera. I apologize, but this is very important. Tired of seeing people get hurt because they don't know what to do during a traffic stop. And the police do these department videos, which are just propaganda. And now we have a legislator, they recently passed a law that kids have to be taught in school now how to interact with police. And I think that's that's bull because it's more propaganda. Legislators, legislators, and teachers at school are not teaching you your rights. Okay, they're teaching you to comply, and that's not necessarily the right thing. However, in some instances, complying is the appropriate thing to do. You make that call, but please, please, be very careful, and don't get yourself hurt. It's one thing to stand on the law and be abused. It's another thing to be sideways with the law and get your ass beat because you were in the wrong. Okay, swallowing your pride for something like that is a very difficult thing. So that's it, guys. Y'all be safe, and I'll see you again soon.